Lost in this hazy room, the darkness surrounds. Pulsating beats electrify the ground. I feel the energy, it's flowing through my veins.
What's up, collective? How's it going? It's April here, founder of the Phoenix Collective. We are the baddies of all spiritual baddies and spiritual daddies, right? We're here on that mission. We're doing the footwork. We're putting up our mirrors and we're walking around triggering people to enlightenment, okay? I mean, come on. We're fearlessly exposing who we truly are, and we're speaking our mind, and we're talking truth. We're truth tellers, we're truth seekers, we are luminaries, we are visionaries, we are like actively doing the light work that this planet needs to ascend from the 3D to the 4D and the 4D to the 5D and on and upwards, right? So welcome. Bringing you some tarot here on this journey. Now, tarot is a living tool for personal growth, okay? I'm not telling you your future. I'm just telling you the path that you're on if you continue on this path. If you don't like it, fucking change it, all right? Pure and simple, right? There is no secrets here. I am just basically just confirming what you already know, okay? So don't force anything that I say to fit. This message is either for you or it's not. So pick it up or just learn some cool shit along the way. That's what I like to say, okay? So, collective, let's see what's going on in the cards. In the past position, I pulled the Seven of Swords. Okay, so this, if you can look at the picture, right? She's up in bed and she's not sleeping, right? You should not be in this position in your bed at night, all right? You should be sleeping soundly. Sawing logs, but she's definitely in some grief, okay? So she's got some fear and anxiety going on. And if you can see, really, there's only 3 swords that possibly even have the potential to pierce her, but they're on the wall and they're really no threat. They're just in her head, okay? So this shows fear. You know what fear is, right? False evidence appearing real. A lot of times when we're in this state, that we are creating and amping things up in our head. When the mind has A information and B information, it wants to make up what lies in between. And a lot of these times, this is just figments of our reality, of our, imagination, folks. It's not the truth. So it's really important at times like this to sift through what's real and what's not real. So anything that you don't have concrete evidence for, discard it, okay? And what you do have evidence for, that's what's remaining left afterwards. That's what you really need to examine, okay? So I'm picking up on some personal demons. And why? Because look who's making his appearance. Our friend, the devil. The devil is like, it's not devil energy. That doesn't mean you have the devil in you. That doesn't mean the devil's coming after you, okay? Come on, folks, let's get real. Okay, it just depicts those earthly things that can help us sabotage ourselves, right? The things that we're chained to that we need to be released from in order to grow. So these things are addictions, materialism, gossip, just negative aspects of self that are holding us back. So what I'm seeing, collective, is like, look, we've got some things that are holding us back from our past that we need to be released from, okay? Because this is past energy. So this is going to look different for everybody, but this is the collective energy. Now remember, collective energy is just that energy that is out affecting a group of people. How that manifests in our life is personal to each person. So I'm not sure what you guys are grappling with here. It could just be, it could be addictions. It could be past mistakes. Something that's resurfacing and rearing its ugly head that's making you not sleep at night. Okay? Something big. And okay, remember that these things are all coming to the light right now because of Plutonic energy, right? These are things that we have to, that have to surface as we head into that age of Aquarius, right? And it's necessary for our growth and for us to head into that new gateway. Okay, you can't go into the future holding on to the past. Sorry. Sorry. That was distracting me. Okay, so right, because it's impossible to. you have to fully let things go and work through them. You can't just dismiss things or stonewall them or ignore them. They need to be dismantled in the subconscious as they come up to the surface. And you need to find the source for them, because they definitely stem from past trauma. Always. And we don't get chained to anything unless we're trying to cover something up. And it takes 21 days for a coping mechanism to be brought about. Okay, so if we are using drugs for lifetimes and lifetimes, the minute something hits our subconscious that we don't like, first thing that we want to go to is those drugs, or that shopping trip to the mall. Let's release some dopamine. Ooh, look at those pretty girls, right? That's gonna make me forget all my troubles. Okay, drugs are fun, shopping is fun, okay, and girls are fun until they're not. I promise you that. It's not gonna solve your problems, okay? It's Halsey, right? That she, and you think that you are, is you can fill that hole inside of you with money, drugs, girls, and cars. So glad I never ever had a baby with you, 'cause you can love nothing unless there's something in it for you. Oh, I feel so sorry, I feel so blue, I tried to help you, something just made you mad. Okay, so that's the little Halsey chat, like little Halsey channeling here. All right, and so and it's just saying that, honestly, we're all searching outside of ourselves for answers, right? And so we develop these patterns and programmings and ways of coping. So honestly, so that's why with fidelity, and that's my favorite F word, fidelity, because it really is the F word. That means doing something consistently and accurately each day in order to change it into a new coping mechanism. I mean, you have to do that for 21 days. That's what science says, right? So getting yourself into a meditative practice, a yoga practice, a journaling practice, a fitness routine, all of these things that are healthy coping mechanisms. So when things get hard, you go for a walk. You learn to process. You do those meditative strategies that actually help you process in a productive way, not just through the avoidant way, right? The way that the devil wants you to tackle it, because that keeps things stuck in the subconscious, and then we're burying it. And on top of more and more and more and more shadows each day. I mean, it becomes huge layers. I'm now I'm channeling. I watched this guy on doom scrolling here, on my phone, right? Put 99 layers of nail polish on his nails. And you could see each layer, okay? Honestly, it was this thick and horrific. And I was just thinking, to me, each one of those was a shadow. Oh, I'm gonna ignore that. Let's go find a pretty girl and have a good night. Oop, there goes a layer. Oh wow, I'm just gonna do this, all these drugs over here. There's another layer. Ooh, let me eat this banana nut muffin and this pizza pie. There's another layer. Okay, let me gossip to my friends about somebody else to make myself feel better. There's another layer. These are all human epidemics, issues we have, because we're doing these things that are self-sabotaging and completely cruel to make ourselves feel better, instead of breathing in the prana, activating our light force energy and connecting with those around us, right? Or looking at tarot, which tells us the path we're on so we can see where we can make changes, or having productive conversations with productive people, right? Pursuing our dreams and our passions, things that make us feel good, and that are good for us, right? Who is the happier person, right? Our insides match our outsides. And I like to think I'm 45 years old, okay? I like to think that I'm about 25 looking or something. I don't know, probably not. But anyway, I want to think that, right? Because it's I fill myself with things that will give me vitality and life. All right. Now, if you looked at her, saggy jowls that have honestly, stretch marks and saggy skin and just a scowl and the resting bitch face, right? You can tell who's truly happy by just looking at them, because truly our thoughts, the thoughts that go through our head and the things that we fill ourselves up with are projected on our outside and how we look. Okay, honestly, I was tired for a long ass time, okay, but I wasn't taking care of myself. I wasn't filling myself up, so that devil energy was really rampant within me. Okay, So let's look and see where we are in the present. All right, so presently, it looks like we're at a crossroads, okay? Check it out, folks. Two of Swords. All right, so those swords are perfectly balanced and weighted, right? See that? Each one of those represents a road that you can go down, okay? And a choice that you can make. But one cancels out the other. So you've gotta release one for the other. It's a choice. That's why it's called a crossroad. All right. Now, the waves are choppy behind her, but they pose no threat at all. So this is a mental issue. Okay, that's why it's swords. It represents the mind and the thought process. All right. So so no real threat, but we're at a crossroads, a decision that we have to make. All right. She's blindfolded, which means the only answer that really, she can't find that answer outside of herself. It's just not going to be there. It's within her because she can't see that around her. So she has to go within in order to get quiet, listen to her intuition, because this is representing the ability to know through your intuition. Okay? Every answer is within you guys. I promise you, we are God, right? I talk about this a lot. We are all just fractals of source. Right? Therefore, we have all the answers within us. We don't have to go outside of ourselves for answers. We know the difference between right and wrong. Okay? We know how we want to be treated based on others. So when you think about it, we're just our two decisions basically and almost always lie in the fact of one, being stuck in the stagnation, right? Being stuck where you are now. Stay where you are. Are you happy? Ask yourself that. Are you happy? Okay, we oftentimes are very, very afraid to step out into that new road because we don't know where it's going to take us, and that makes us scared. But even though where we are right now is not anywhere close to where we want to be, we choose to stay there because it's familiar and it's not as scary. We don't have to be vulnerable. All right, I'm telling you, the most successful people out there, if you interviewed them and that word was brought up to them and said, what is vulnerability to you? They would, honestly, all of them, the response for successful people when asked that question is that vulnerability is a beautiful thing, right? They see it as a success. They're not afraid to fail because if they never tried, they never would have been where they are now. Okay, so it's like, it's all right to fail. And our greatest lessons are in our failures, right? Because with them, we learn from them. So when we try again, because we have to be vulnerable again, if we haven't, you guys, this is life. Everything around us was created by God for us. He wants us to experience it, but we're limiting that for ourselves. So once we realize that this world is ours and we go after it and we charge and we're not afraid and we stop staying stuck in miserableness with people that hurt us and in situations that are not good for us and feeling like we have to fix all the situations and everyone else around us to be happy. No, break free from that. Bob Marley says, emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our mind. And it's so accurate. Okay. So we're at a crossroads. Okay. And we've got a decision to make for ourselves. Nobody else can make this for us. So don't ask anybody else. Seriously, go within and do what makes you happy, not what makes them happy or them or him or her or your mom or your dad or your kid or your husband. What makes you happy? Because if you're not happy, trust me, they're not going to be happy either. Okay? Shit. We all know that's right? All right, so the Magician. So I'm telling you, whatever you choose right now, you're in that Magician energy. You are in that powerful time of manifestation and you will create it. So if you make the wrong choice, you're going to create that as well. And you're going to magnetize it and you're going to magnify it. And it's going to be a complete catastrophe. If you keep doing what you're doing, you're going to get what you got, but you're going to get it 1,000 times more because Spirit is giving you this crossroads right now, letting you know that, hey, you got another option here. Take it. Because if you don't, then there's going to be a tower moment and it's going to be by the divine. And you don't want a tower moment by the divine. You want to make those decisions yourself and correct it because your intuition is guiding you towards a new path. All right, so take it, because this is a path of purpose and one of like complete happiness. So manifest the right thing, all right? I mean, come on. Like, really, when you think about it, weighing the pros and cons, you already know. You already know what you want, right? You're just afraid, so it's okay. Let that fear give you that Phoenix energy, because guess what? Guess what? What do we got in the future? Future. This lady again, and I always say, she looks like a cold ass bitch, doesn't she? She's not. She just seeks truth. She's a truth speaker and she's a truth seeker. That wand cuts through the bullshit, or that sword cuts through the bullshit, and she illuminates the truth. Okay? There's no fog around her. She seeks honesty. She speaks honestly. Okay, so I see that you are going to be like, all right, speaking messages of love. Okay, and that's because I got right, okay, check it out. The Page of Cups too. Okay, that's new beginnings. That's messages of love. That is that enlightenment of a new world, right? Where it's a new beginning. Page energies, baby energy, right? It's way back before we were programmed, when life was like, we still had that fool's approach to the world, okay? And we saw beauty in all around us, right? And we weren't afraid because each experience was brand new, so we didn't know what to expect yet. We weren't scarred by trauma or failure. Okay, so we've got the queen like talking her fucking truth and bringing us messages from love. So I see that like everything is going to be changing in the future as long as you stay on this path and go after and seek your own truth, right? And boldly step out. All right, so like honestly, you can't get a better future than that. So, but you got to stay on this path, right? And you got to make the right decision, pushing out through fear and releasing old addictions, right? And developing new patterns to cope. If you don't do that, then that's not the path that you're going to end up on, okay? And I'm telling you that. All right, so we've got to get through all of this, right? And start new ways of looking at the world, right? And that Queen of Swords, and then to derive at that Queen of Swords energy. I know you guys can do it though, all right? Hey, I love you. Remember, you are perfect. You are perfect just for being alive. You deserve unconditional love on this planet, okay? Right? Now, remember, we are all connected as one, okay? We all come from the same source. We are all suffering the human condition together, and I say this all the time, okay? And you know that. I'm not better than you. You're not better than me. So we have a duty and obligation to help our brothers and our sisters on the path, because we're all at different spots, right? So we've been there. So we can step into that place of empathy and understanding when somebody else is going through something similar. That's why we go through these things. We wouldn't have these experiences if they weren't for a purpose. And if you can't bring that purpose and meaning into it, then you're not on the right path, guys, because we should all be arriving at a state of love and understanding for one another, okay? So be kind to yourself, but be kinder to your brothers and sisters. I'm so in love with all of you. Mwah. Namaste.